And welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me again on this lovely Sunday evening. Thankful to be here. Thankful that you guys are here joining me as well. Very happy that I'm able to continue to do Survivor Girl podcast and keep things going. So I just wanted to start first with a disclaimer. I'm not here to treat, diagnose, prescribe, or any of that kind of stuff because I am not a trained professional in that. I am just here solely to tell my story, share the events in my life and those of the guests that join me when they do, to help uplift and inspire others to let you know that you're not alone and that you can thrive and survive through whatever it is that you may be facing. So I'm here and I want to go ahead and talk about last week. I want to recap and go over the guest that I had last week was Roxanne Paholka, and I was really glad that she was able to come back and join me. And we caught up with each other. We got a chance to talk about the things that she's been going through the quarantine, through everything else that's been happening in her life, and it was very awesome to touch base with her and be able to find out how she's been doing and to get her perspective and her side of everything that's been going on. So if you guys get a chance, please go back and take a look at that episode. It is archived on YouTube, and I think it's still up on Twitch as well. I am on Twitch and of course here on YouTube. So if you guys and sorry guys, also re-aired on solidstateradio.net out of Lapeer, which is very cool. I thank Sean and Adam for doing that. I hear some very incredible shows. There's one that goes on before me, and then I'm aired after there that are kind of around similar kind of things. So if you guys get a chance to check that out as well, that would be very cool. Love the support and all of that. You guys are rock stars, and that is super cool. I appreciate everything that you guys do for the support and the love to keep on going. So with that being said, there's been a lot of really cool things that I kind of want to touch base on. I have another little business called Dragonfly Boutique. It has been going very good. Things have been very busy and steady, and that's awesome. I'm very appreciative of that. I feel very blessed to be able to create things that people are enjoying and able to wear, such as these eyeglass lens necklaces, which I'm offering memory lenses. So if you have a pair of glasses from a loved one, I can make it into one of these kind of things with a uniqueness to be able to wear and have it as a memorial. So if you have a pair of glasses, I can make two pieces for you. You can just get in touch with me on Dragonfly Boutique. I am on Facebook. It's a little dragonfly and Dragonfly Boutique in lettering, and it's a purple background. Very easy to find. I'm on Facebook. Also, very awesome and exciting news. My good friends are opening up a store called Hometown Handmade, and it's going to be in Emily City on Bancroft Street. There is an event I will be posting on Survivor Girl and on Dragonfly Boutique. The grand opening will be September 18th, which is super exciting. A lot of vendors that are local. I think there's like either 5 or 6. They keep on putting on who's going to be in the store. But this is my first time out in a store, so I am incredibly thankful and I feel very blessed to be able to join them in this adventure. So if you guys are able to support, go over to the Facebook page so you can keep up with what's happening at the store. I'm going to do a Survivor Girl shout out spotlight. Sorry, see, my mind keeps on going. I had a little bit of coffee today. Doing a Survivor Girl spotlight with them so I can show you guys inside the store, get a little bit of an interview with Mary and everybody else who is putting this store together. It's very cool. I got a chance to go to the Emily City Farmers Market. So Farmers Market has been a very interesting thing for me. I've not done them before. The only thing I've ever done is the Renaissance festivals, which has always been awesome. That's been fun. But trying out new things. I had somebody say, Wow, that stuff is really cool. Well, not just somebody. I had a lot of people actually, and I want to give a shout out to all of you guys that support. Those are very unique, very interesting. That's something that you don't see all the time. You should do this. Try this farmer market out. You should do this. And Mary and Rodney took me along and just kind of said, "Come on, come with us, come join us." So I started doing that and got very, very good responses. So here is the thing, guys, if you are doing something and you have people that are supporting you and telling you you should try this, it was like $10 for me to do the first one, and I tried it out. Or yeah, the first one, and I tried it out, and it did really, really well. I was so shocked. I was like, wow, I didn't know. I've always believed in myself, but I was also still kind of dipping my toe in the water, going, I don't know if I can jump in. I can't dive in on this. So it's been interesting since I started to trust the process and try it out. It's scary because you never know where you're going to land. But I've had inventory of stuff. I started doing jewelry back in 2010, I think, or 2009, somewhere. No, 2011, 2012 ish. So I started it back then. Didn't know anything about it. Decided I was going to make pairs of earrings and just kind of went from there. And as I keep on working on stuff, I progress and I make stuff that I'm proud to put out and go, oh, here world, this is what I'm doing right now. So you got to kind of get to that point. You have a lot of work that you have to do unless you are just one of those people that can create and it's amazing in the beginning. But I look back at the pictures and I go, wow, I really have come far from where I used to be. And for believing in myself and other people believing in me as well, I appreciate that. I do not go a day without being appreciative and thankful. I call my Thursdays thankful Thursdays. I wake up in the morning, me and Adam look at each other and go, today is going to be a great day. And not so aggressively, not always, sometimes. It depends on how we're, working. But, I look at it and go, okay, it's really a lot about perspective. It is really a lot about how you start your mornings out, what it is that you do, what it is that you're doing to better yourself, better your future. What are the things that you want to try but are scared to do? And I know we all feel this. I know a lot of us have felt held back or, let's see, stopped ourselves when we were getting ready to do something really exciting. And what is that, self sabotage? I hear. Is that what we're hearing? Been there, done that. We don't always just do it on like a business adventure or selling stuff or things like that. Music, anything creative that can happen. We get scared. There's a fear that we didn't have as kids. Remember being a kid and jumping off of things and not even thinking twice about it before doing it? Okay, so I was a little different. I had my moments, but I know there was a lot of people growing up that were not as scared to do these things, to just try things. And as we learn, but we also take from others, which this is kind of part of Jen Sincero's book when she talks about some of this, the big snooze, about not knowing this as a kid, about finding out more as we get older and we grow. Um, and then we start to have this kind of fear and stuff in life. And then as you get older, all of the things that you learn in life, you find out in life, you go through in life, start to add extra stuff on top: anxiety, mental illness, depression, eating disorders. I mean, there's so many things that we do to self sabotage ourselves. Sometimes we don't realize that we do it. I am very good at shopping. I'm good at shopping. When I get stressed out, I am good at retail therapy. Not I am good to the point though to where it's not going crazy like some people do. But I have had experience in doing that when I have issues of depression or things that I'm trying to face or get agitated and nervous about. Also, the amazing cravings for sugar and all of the bad foods that you could indulge in that you can enjoy, but on a minuscule thing. Not just for me being a bariatric patient, but as in general on a daily. Especially with going through and having had cancer. Cancers feed on sugar, from what I've done the research on. You guys, please go ahead and do the research as well. Look it up. You may find something different. I could be wrong, but from what the research that I have done and I found through my doctors and everything else, apparently soy, the cancer that I had, soy was something that fed on my cancer, and sugar, my cancer was feeding on those things. Soy has estrogen in it, and because at that time I was like, I'm switching over to milk, and I'm not saying that that's what caused it. I had a lot of stress in my life. I have always held a lot on my shoulders. I have always had that worry and stuff as I became a adult in my early 20s and stuff. I started to carry a lot of things on my shoulders. So with that, I would eat improperly. I would not take care of myself. I would not work out. I would not anything that had to do with bettering myself, my body, my health. I wasn't about it. I would rather just binge watch stuff, surf the internet, sing, and not exercise and things were just not my thing. They never really have been throughout my life until now, which I'm excited to be here, guys, to tell you about this. So I'm not trying to go, oh, I'm going to point the finger at all of you and everything that you guys are doing that is wrong. No, we all do it. We all have done it. We've all been at that point in our life where we've tried to self sabotage ourselves, or we've tried to sabotage a relationship, or we've tried to sabotage our jobs. Whatever it is, when it becomes to be either too much or too good to be true, we try to cut it there and we try to hide from things. There are some people out there that are super good at going, yeah, whatever. I'm going to keep on cruising because that's what I need to do with my life. And I give you guys props because that is not an easy thing to do. And congratulations on that. That is very exciting that you're able to continue to move forward, not let anything bother you, and namaste over there. Just having that inner peace and that inner dialogue with that is incredible. Like that's awesome. That is really awesome if you're able to do that. But all of those, my friends, that do not have that, come sit around. Let's talk about this because it is not something that is easy to face on your own. You could either face it with your other friends that go through the same thing. It's fun to be able to talk about this stuff. And I know it sounds funny. Some people are like, no, that's not fun. Me sitting in front of my friend with my tears rolling down, my mascara getting ruined, them seeing me for me inside and out. The inside is what we were afraid that our friends are going to see. But listen to me. If they're truly there, and they mean it when they say, call me at 3 a.m. if you are having a shit show, if you aren't able to hold it together, and they truly, truly mean that, they don't care if you have raccoon eyes. They don't care if you're crumbled up in the corner on the floor. They don't, Adam, they don't care if you are in the closet crying because you're upset about something. We'll get into that. There's moments when we all are on the floor. We've all been there, have we not? And the thing is, you can still get up off the floor. If you're lucky and you cried enough, you can mop that up and you can see the sparkle afterward. You know what I mean? So we've been there. We've all been there. And to be able to have somebody that you can talk to, whether it be a friend, a family member, a therapist. I talk about that. Not everybody likes therapists. Not everybody likes doctors. We know this. But if you have an avenue that you can go through and you can talk and speak with your friends, chances are they've been there and they can relate. Sometimes we have that one friend that relates a little bit too much and they're like trying to go over what you're trying to talk about with, but I've experienced, and we've all done that too. Have we not done that where we get excited to be able to talk about someone that gets it and you're like, wait a minute though, but I've done this, this, and this. Oh wait, that's a little bit different from what you've gone through. We've all done that. It's hard sometimes to curb our enthusiasm. I am very bad at that sometimes. Sometimes it's not me trying to one up anybody, but I get excited. I get excited no matter what the topic is to be like, hey, somebody else that is weird and gets it. That's awesome. So but we've all been there too, I believe. I think other than the people that are really right within themselves and have that peace, I'm not going to say that I envy you or that I'm jealous because that's not a way to live. However, I would like to learn from those people that have it on lockdown, that are calm, that are cool, that can navigate through things. And you're just like, that person didn't even blink about that. They're still going. Like, the sky is not falling for them. Like, what is going on here? Like, I felt that. I have Me and Tony have talked about this, the Chicken Little movement, little moments, where the sky is falling. And it honestly has not been something that is the sky is falling. We've been there, right?
Well, I think the quote was, just because the sky is falling doesn't mean you got to stand underneath it.
That is a good point. Thank you. That is a good point. And another thing that we talked about throughout my growth and stuff, and our friendship and everything is, I'm planting my feet. I will not be moved. That doesn't always happen. It doesn't always. Okay. There are moments. I have my moments just like anybody else does. And we talk about, I'm showing you guys me. This is me, my heart on my sleeve, this my mess, whatever it is. I share with you guys. So there are times though when I'm just like I'm not able to be as positive as I like to be. Sometimes inside I am not as sunshiny and bright and everything, and it happens. Like I said, we've all gone through so many things in our life that can cause that kind of traumatic thing that can keep us from moving forward. That we question and go, well, wait, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Okay, so what's the lesson? I think is one thing that we don't like to ask. We question why, but we don't ask what's the lesson. What is the lesson here? Why did that happen? Yes, that's a good question. But what's the lesson? How am I able to grow from this instead of blame and whatever else that we can throw at it? You got something?
Well, I was going to say it's funny that you bring that up because I know there's been a meme going around for a couple of years about there's two kinds of people in your life: the kind that is a blessing, and there's kind that is a lesson.
Or the season thing?
Yeah,
That one too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a season for everything and yeah.
Everything happens for a reason and depends
Hmm.
on the season.
Well,
So,
and the thing is like when I was growing up, my mom knew automatically that I was her sensitive kid. Like I was the one that was gonna come home with tears for whatever reason, and she was gonna have her hands full. Like she knew that. She already knew, and that's okay. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Um, it took a very strong mother to be able to deal with that and go, okay, I'm not letting this break my heart. If you've been a parent or if you've ever, like, I'm a godmother, and to see kids or kids that I care about come home and be just devastated by something like that tugs at your heartstrings. But anyway, my mom knew at a very young age that I was going to be an emotional kid, that I was going to feel everything, that I was going to experience things differently. And I have throughout my entire life. And I used to be so angry and upset about that because it was embarrassing, I thought I'm going to show everybody my tears. And I learned, growing up, and this is not a dig at my dad or anybody else. My mom would even say it sometimes, to go to your room. And we've talked about this on other episodes. Go to your room if you're going to cry because they don't want to see it because that breaks their heart too. But either way, I knew that there was going to be that emotional part of me. And to finally be to that point where I'm like, okay, this is it. This is how I feel things. But because I feel those things, it does make me go, what is the lesson here? Instead of going, oh, I know it's this reason, and this person, and this thing. What's the lesson here? What is all of it's like a weird emotional Rubik's Cube, I guess. Trying to make sure that all the parts fit together, the colors are straight, everything is right. But yeah, it kind of feels like that. It feels like a really weird emotional Rubik's Cube. And like I said, we all have gone through things in life that we felt that might have kept us down for a while, might have distracted us to a different path. But then it's kind of weird how like a light will shine on that new path, and you're like, I don't even know where the other path went. I don't, have you been there? You've done that because you're dead set on taking this path, and this is it. This is my journey. This is where I'm going. This is it. And I know that's another thing that you guys probably feel on this personal level is you're dead set on this path and you're going down it, and then you're just like, when did I cross over to this path, and how did I not? What is going on here? But then like I said, like it's like a light goes on, and you're like, oh, this path looks like it's way easier. Who would have known? And then you completely forget, or you scornfully remember that path was your path. Who took it? Why? But that's part of navigating life. Life is weird, is it not? It's messy. It's strange.
Absolutely. Well, and it's funny that you bring that up. And I know I used that as a transition before, but legitimately, because I think about some of the stuff that you and I have done
Mm-hmm.
and how difficult, even more difficult, when the light was shined on the path.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Even though it was some of the most difficult things that you and I had ever navigated,
Yeah.
whether it was business or joint ventures or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I remember very vividly when you were like, "Nope, we're not putting cameras in the studio."
Oh, I was never gonna do that. We were never gonna do studio or cameras in the studio, and we have done. I don't even know how many episodes now with cameras, and I feel it like
This is
I still-
episode 47. by the way.
47 of
Yes.
Survivor are awesome. Very cool. I'm super excited about that. I'm always super excited. Can you tell, guys? I'm always super. And then you'll know when I'm really, really mean that I'm super excited because then I'll start tripping over words and thoughts and things, and that's me. ADHD maybe. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed, so I couldn't tell you.
Squirrel.
Right. So anyway, we've experienced many different things, and there's times where I would have definitely have just moved out of the way and went, okay, fine, I give, whatever. And then I started to go, wait a minute though, wait a minute, no, I want that. I was working hard for that. Why would I just be like, okay, Cheryl, or whoever, go ahead and just take credit for it? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Plant your feet. Don't be moved. That doesn't work with everything. You could get tased. I'm just saying. That's a warning. Not by me. You just never know. Just be careful what battles you choose. See, I'm always afraid I'm going to give you the wrong advice and you're going to be like, Heather, I planted my feet. I did not move. I got tased and pepper sprayed. What are you trying to do to me?
Turn around.
Every now, yeah. So I'm just, I never know what direction when I'm by myself in the studio that I'm gonna go, but I'm feeling this, guys. Today I'm kind of transitioning because we're talking about paths and everything. So I'm transitioning over. Today is 2 years, not 4. 2 years since surgery. It's my surgery for the bariatric surgery, and thank you. I'm excited, super excited, guys, super excited. That's my favorite word. To be here with you guys to talk about that because for a long time in my life, I suffered with being morbidly obese. I started gaining weight when I was 5 years old. I've talked about this on past episodes, but if you are just now joining in and you have this your first introduction to me, I hope we're cool. I hope we're good still. I want to talk a little bit about this, touch base about it. I experienced gaining weight at an early age. I was 5 years old, and I went on a diet. Probably the only kid that I hung out with that was on a diet, and people would be like, "Here's a cookie." "Oh, I can't. I'm on a diet at 5 years old. Okay, that's devastating for a child. At 5 years old, no, I'd say 7. My mom and them would put me in sweatpants and a sweatshirt kind of that matched. Hated that as a kid because I felt like it was tight. I would suck my stomach in at school. I would hold my stomach in throughout the whole day at school because I was self-conscious about my weight at such a young age. Middle school, they do the whole gym coming in. This is 7th grade, I think. Eighth grade before? Is that before school? Yeah, 8th grade-ish. They decide that they're going to bring everybody in and for gym class, and we're all going to get weighed in front of everybody. How exciting! No, not for someone that's not even 5 foot yet and is at 208 pounds. Not cool. Not cool. So there's that devastation. Already knowing that you're the big kid, And then as growing up, started to do some weird stuff where I would sleep with garbage bags on to try to lose weight. Not recommended. That is not healthy. So learned, again, something from somebody else that I thought was the right thing. Stopped eating other than at school. This is kind of weird because I'm 15. They had the big cookies, and I'd have a Mountain Dew for lunch. Like, how does that help? It doesn't. Because eventually I'd end up getting super, super hungry when I'd get home, and guess what? I would eat everything in the house. So that doesn't help. Don't starve yourself. Don't sleep with garbage bags on to get sweat off of you. That does not work. That's not safe. Don't do that crap. Don't stop eating food because you're afraid that people are going to see you eat food. If you have issues with weight, don't do that to yourself. Don't. There's healthier ways to do things. And there's a lot of people. I give props to one of my family members. She went out in this past year and a half, lost 100 pounds on her own through dedication, through figuring out what works for her, for listening to her body, for taking care of everything herself. Amazing. She looks incredible. She feels incredible. Her husband has jumped on board and is starting to lose weight as well. Awesome. Uplift each other. Don't damage yourself, okay? And granted, I was a teenager. I was a kid when I was doing this stuff. Doesn't make it right, and I hope that if there's anybody that is a teenager and is listening now, please don't do that stuff to yourself. Do not do that stuff to yourself. Ask somebody or talk to your doctor or maybe your coach at school or, therapist or counselor, whatever, to help you out with that because you're going to do damage to yourself, not just physically, but mentally. That is definitely something that will mess you up mentally. So I spent a lot of my life gaining and gaining and gaining. And we're going to talk about something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. Hey, it's that month. It's awareness for PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you guys have not heard about it, 1 out of 10 women are diagnosed with it. There are so many women that are diagnosed with this, and it causes situations in your body where you're insulin independent. Hold on, let me pull up the thing so I'm saying this all right. Oh, a couple shout outs. Cindy is joining. She says, "Hey, Adam is joining and says checking in, sounding great." Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys joining in. And there's a couple other that are hanging out and kind of keeping quiet, and that's okay. Let me pull up the picture here. I got a couple different things. Hopefully it stayed. Okay. So, what is PCOS? Polycystic ovarian syndrome is a serious genetic hormone metabolic and reproductive disorder that affects women. It is the leading cause of female infertility. PCOS can lead to lifelong complications and other serious conditions, including severe anxiety and depression, obesity, endometrial cancer, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, and cardiovascular disease. PCOS affects 1 in 10 women. Let me pull this up here so I can see better. 10 to 15% of women estimated to have polycystic ovarian syndrome. 50% women with PCOS go undiagnosed. 50% of women with PCOS who will develop type 2 diabetes before the age of 40. That was me. All of these so far. 13.8 billion estimated annual cost to the American healthcare system to diagnose and treat women with PCOS. 3 times the increased risk of women with PCOS developing endometrial cancer. Common signs and symptoms: irregular periods, excess facial and body hair, severe acne, small cysts in ovaries, insulin resistance, anxiety and depression, infertility, weight gain, male pattern, hair loss. So I've talked about this on the past. There's so many different things with PCOS, and there's also some facts that I'd like to say. There's six facts about PCOS. Number 1, as women with PCOS get older, their chances of pregnancy may increase. The reproductive peak for PCOS is often later. Number 2, PCOS can cause significant hair loss, also known as androgenetic alopecia. Number 3, PCOS can cause hirsutism. I don't know how to say that one. Sorry, guys. It's excessive hair growth on places like the face, abdomen, back, and chest. It is not only stressful but also costly. Costs a lot for many women with PCOS. So let's talk about that because I am an open book and I do say things to you guys. I don't really care. You can take what you want from it, but honestly, because of PCOS, I have hairs that grow and I have to take care of it every single day. And that is one of the things about myself that I am not excited about. I'm a woman. Women don't want to have to do that every day. And because of taking care of it and shaving off it, I've had to be very vigilant. There's been times where I have been running late for something, and then I get in the car and I look in the mirror and I go, I got a 5 o'clock. Now what am I supposed to do with the, but that is part of life with PCOS. That's part of it. Acne, I'm 40 years old. I still get breakouts. Still get breakouts. And fun fact, guys, and I wrote this on my personal page, I have had my ovaries completely removed. And because of having, guess what, guys? Uterine cancer. Surprise. Um, it doesn't matter. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, right? Does not matter. It is metabolic, so it does not matter. I still am classified as having PCOS. We'll get into a little bit more of why I have less of it though now. So where was I at? Number 4 is PCOS is a genetic condition and runs in families. Even men can carry the genes for PCOS. I did not know that. That is something I'm just now finding. Number 5, many women with moderate to severe acne actually have PCOS. Number 6, women with PCOS have insulin resistance, which disrupts healthy metabolism. And I've experienced every single last one of them. So if you have some of those symptoms, it's a good thing to always get checked out. Irregular periods were a huge thing for me. I would go, when I was a teenager, I would go almost a whole month having one. Talk about thinking you're going to die. I asked my mom about that. I'm like, what is happening? And it was not normal. I got diagnosed at 13. I started my period, I think I was 10 years old. And that was a whole another, what the heck is happening here? But when I got diagnosed at 13, talk about being nervous when you go in and you're not old enough to, you don't think you're old enough to have to go in for an exam, pelvic exam, or, PAP, whatever. Being at that age, and of course me being embarrassed, and I had a male doctor and everything, I was not comfortable. I started crying. I begged to not have that. So I learned at 13 that I had this thing. Nobody knew what it was. They knew it was called PCOS. They knew that there was cysts and everything, but do you know that my mom didn't even get told that part of it? No. I had polycystic ovarian. So the thing is, what did they do? They put me on birth control. Instantly put me on birth control. So you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. It causes you to gain weight. Guess what? So does birth control. It can mess you up and cause you to gain weight. They put me on it to regulate me. Obviously, at that age, I was not having sex, but they put me on it to regulate me. And that was another thing, too. When they put me on that, I was like, people are going to think that I'm doing stuff. It was embarrassing. Like, the whole situation was like, what is happening? So, a lot of people, like they said, a lot of women don't get, 50% of women do not get diagnosed. So even those numbers that I read you obviously are skewed because a lot of women aren't even getting diagnosed. So here's the thing. If you have a great doctor, you can ask them to try to help you to get the test if you believe it. I'm not saying that a lot of doctors aren't great if they aren't able to do the testing. Sometimes you run into insurance issues, even though your doctor tries. So here's the thing. I got the test done. I found out I was PCOS. I went through school having major periods, all kinds of issues, all that stuff. Weight gain. Weight gain. So if you thought being at 208 in middle school was horrible and terrifying and depressing and sad, yeah, by the time that I graduated from high school, I was 300 pounds at 5'1". Nope. And the thing is, the worst part about it is people didn't understand. How can she eat so much? She's got to be eating so much. She's got to be doing this, and she doesn't. Well, okay, so depression, anxiety, exhaustion, because, okay, little legs, that much weight, not caring, because I was down. I was always tired. And I did not feel like I could keep up. I could not do all this stuff. So there's all that. Plus, like I said, the hair loss, I've dealt with that. The hair loss on your head, but you get hair in your face and everywhere else that a woman you wouldn't think would have it. It's like, why do I have a trail on my belly button? That's not right. That's not supposed to. Anyway, so that's some of the stuff that you deal with, some of the things with PCOS. And more, I have come to find there are a lot of women that have it, and it is horrible when it comes to periods. And so is endometriosis. That is another one that is very, very hard on women. And a lot of times guys don't understand it, but there are guys that are now starting to understand and do the research and look into stuff to be able to help their women go through whatever it is that they go through. So I posted something about, the infertility thing. And another one of my friends has PCOS. However, she was able to have kids. She's got two beautiful kids. And, so it's different for some people. Some people have to have the shots and all that stuff to be able to actually conceive. With me, I ended up getting uterine cancer, so that whole part of the equation was completely gone. Um, and that took time to heal from that too. However, because of the situation that I was in at the time, I didn't heal myself from it, and I didn't really do much for it. So, to the women that are out there that think that they might have PCOS after seeing all the awareness, you guys that are warriors for PCOS that keep on posting this stuff and sharing and everything, that is important because there's women out there that don't know that they are dealing with this. They don't understand what their body is doing to them. They don't understand why they're almost whatever age and still have breakouts or hair growing and things, and their periods are messed up. It's hard to say. Our bodies are so hard to read sometimes. So, I recommend, especially with it being that PCOS awareness month, check it out. Make sure that you don't have it or whatever it is that's going on. Are taking care of ourselves, no matter at what age, is so important. Even if you are younger, taking care of yourself is super important because you'll thank yourself later. If you're keeping up with yourself and taking care of yourself, you'll appreciate it so much more later on in life. Another thing that I found that was super interesting is that I signed on for my chart. Has anybody else ever done that for through their hospital or whatever they offer, where you can go in and check things out and all that? So I was laying in bed looking at that today, this morning because I couldn't sleep. I'm looking at it, and I went into my list of allergens and found out that I am also allergic to yellow and blue dyes. No idea. Wasn't told. So I recommend checking out your My Chart too, because you can find notes and different things in your chart that you might not know is going on. And this was I diagnosed a while back, and I had no idea. So that's something else to look at. You know, allergies are crazy. You can get some that you didn't even realize that you had, and it's important to check that out too. So I'm gonna take a drink here really quick. Not endorsed by Body Armor, but I really love this stuff. It's so good. Anyway, so with the whole PCOS thing and the awareness of it being PCOS Awareness Month, also it is suicide prevention and all that month as well. So I'm going to try to do something more with that, maybe on the next episode, or try to talk with somebody or a couple people on both subjects this month, just to try to help with the awareness with everything, because that is really what I'd like to do, not just with this show, but in life, is to be able to help and reach out to other people that are going through things. So with that being said, with it being my surgiversary, here we go. So the polycystic ovarian syndrome thing, I obviously, like I said, I still have it, but I chose to go with the bariatric surgery, and I've talked about this on past shows as well. And with that, and deciding to go and do the surgery, there is a 10% of symptoms that I still do get from the PCOS. But one of the things that helps with PCOS is being able to lose weight. Well, when you have PCOS and you are insulin resistant and it messes up your metabolism, that is really, really hard to lose weight. Now, there are some people out there, some women out there, that have polycystic ovarian syndrome and are not overweight. They are not obese. They are not morbidly obese. They are actually underweight or just where they need to be for their weight. So that was a myth that I thought. I thought it was always just women that were overweight that had PCOS, and that's not the case. It can cause a lot of issues up and down, but there are some women out there that are not overweight that do have PCOS. So for me, I was at that point where I was dealing with the PCOS. I had high blood pressure. I had high cholesterol. I had to take metformin, which is for type 2 diabetes. And I was having heart issues. My heart rate and my blood pressure were just through the roof. I was only, it's been 2 years now, so 37? No, 38. I can't know. Anyway, I'm trying to think of the timing because it's now September. So, um, I was at that age though where it was like, okay, you need to make a decision, and not everybody wants to go towards the weight loss surgery. That was just my decision. Like I said, my family member, she did it without having any surgery. She just went and stuck to her guns and found a regimen that worked for her, and that's possible. You guys, we are in control of helping ourselves with our health, with our weight loss, with our, some people need to gain weight. That's a bit harder. I've never been on that spectrum. I've always had it easy to gain weight, but there's people out there that can't gain weight and they need to. So, with that being said, the surgery was what I felt the best way to go for me with all of these health issues that I was having. I felt like that was really the direction. I was planning on doing it back in, I think, 2003. So I would have been 23 at the time. But I had ended up with somebody who did not feel that it was safe. And at that time, it might not have been because it was still fairly, I guess, kind of new. It's come a long way since then to now. Now they say that the weight loss surgeries are more or less invasive than what a gallbladder surgery is. So I went to Dr. Ringley in Saginaw, and he was an incredible surgeon. I did have a couple complications in my surgery, and I think it might have been due to where they had to open me up at was still around the same area where they opened me up for removing my uterus and everything else with the cancer. And so I did end up losing some blood. I had to get a transfusion, which I never had to do in my life. So if you guys do donate blood or are able to donate blood, thank you for that because without that, I don't know where I would have been at. So I do appreciate that. And if you guys are able to donate, it it helped save my life. So I'm thanking whoever it was that did the donation there because it helped. A lot of people will have different kind of complications. It can happen as in any kind of major surgery, but I find more and more because I'm in a group for bariatric surgery that there is a lot of people that have come out without having any kind of issues. So I did have that part of it, and I did have bruising. They actually had to sharpie my stomach to watch where it was moving, and it was scary. I remember going in, and I was saying bye to everybody that was there, and they were taking me down, and I was hoping that Adam would be able to go to the next step there with me. And this was obviously before virus and everything happening, which is completely totally different now, guys. You can't even have somebody even sit with you to that part, which is terrifying. But I thought he would be going with me down to the next part. And for me, for any kind of surgery, they have to give me a Benadryl because of my allergy issues that I have. And so they're wheeling me down, and I'm starting to kind of feel it because Benadryl and me, yeah, I get it hits me. So I'm laying there, and I'm thinking I'm laying by myself waiting to go. And you get in the bays if you've ever had surgery. So I'm in this bay, and I'm waiting for them to come get me to go into the surgery room. And I'm thinking, okay, now's your chance. If you're gonna change your mind, now's the time to do it. Out like a light. So apparently, it was not the time to do it, and I'm kind of glad I did not try to get up because that would have been just horrible. But they did an excellent job. He did everything right. I was a trooper. I think I did pretty well after a while. I'm not a big fan of medications as far as like pain pills and stuff. So for me, as soon as I could, I got off of the pain medications, and it's easier for some people than it is for others. For me, that is something that is easy to do. So I got off of those, and I stayed an extra night. I wasn't expecting to, but because of the blood transfusion and watching that bruise, I stayed an extra night. And Adam was beside me the whole time. Tony stopped up. Pat and Bruce, which Zach's mom and dad were there, they stopped in. Kay came and seen me. The ever lovely Kay, one of the twin flame sisters, stopped in and brought me a little present, some sage and stuff, which was awesome. I was in and out of it, so I don't really remember much of it, but I do thank everybody. And I had, like I said, huge support system. So many people were for me. Honestly, if anybody was against me, I did not know it. I never heard it. If anybody had anything against me going, not a one person tried to stop me or put a fear in me. It was an incredible thing to have the love and support. I didn't have the $200 to put down. I call it a copay, but I don't know if that's really what. You put down this money and you can see your nutritionist whenever, and it kind of gets you started and going to the seminar and everything. I didn't have that. So, my very longtime friend, Christy, without hesitation, gave me the $20 or $200 and said, "Here you go." Went with me to the thing, and that got the ball rolling. And then after that, it was work. It was hard work. It is not something easy. And even 2 years down the road, thank God, I've gone back and forth between a 6 and a 10 pound thing, which isn't easy. And I do beat myself up over it in a weird way, but I'm also look back. Okay, guys, here's the thing: 2 years, other than 6 and 10, going back and forth, and goes down sometimes even lower, I have managed to stay healthy, to keep, I mean, I do so many cool things now. Kayaking, I run, I run. I can do stuff that used to just stop me. Like I do a cleaning thing, a gig. I do a cleaning gig, and I can actually clean without dying and feeling like I'm gonna fall over. Today in the car, and I don't recommend this either, but I was able to cross my legs in the car seat and relax, like I was having my own little moment. And I've not been able to do that. I can cross my legs. I can do yoga. I can do all kinds of incredible things. For me, yes, it's fun to be able to wear cool clothes and stuff that I wouldn't have ever been able to fit in or feel comfortable in. That's a bonus, honestly. But that's not the whole reason why. Me being able to breathe, to run, to do really sad jumping jacks. If you ever have had bariatric surgery, know you're your own cheering section with their skin. Um, Being able to do those things though is incredible. To me, it was always about the health part of it. I felt okay. It was a big risk. Any surgery can be a big risk. Okay, that was never a thought that was not with me. But I felt that continuing down the path that I was at was an even bigger risk. So if you're on the fence about doing it for yourself, whether it be the surgery or you just figuring out what it is that you need and your body needs to be able to help you get to it, start. Take a step. One step. I guarantee you it's going to feel good. You're going to probably hate it because if you're used to just, like I said, binging TV shows and not really doing a lot of movement and not wanting. See, here's the thing. Okay, remember when we talked about the path and the different path and the light? Here's the thing. I used to go, I'm not going to be able to eat this. My favorite food. I can't eat this anymore then. If I'm going to lose weight, I can't eat this. I'm going to have to get up an hour early to work out. 15 minutes? Are you kidding me? That's not. Okay, so, okay, what are you guys hearing? Negativity. Excuses. Every step of the way. I was fighting it. I was being such a jerk to myself about the idea of getting healthy that it wasn't cool. I was not the cool kid at the table. I was the bully. I was being the bully to myself. Are you guys being the bully to yourselves right now? Is there something that you want to do but you're holding yourself back because you are talking negative about it? oh, I'm not going to be able to do this and I'm not going to. Okay, is that really that bad after the fact? No, it was worth it. Do you think that I don't eat a cupcake? Like, I talked about it on Don't Make This Weird. I ate a sugar free, gluten free cupcake. I still had it and it was freaking amazing. Thank you. Shout out to D's Cupcakes. Very good. But here's the thing, guys. We talked about the moderation thing. Before surgery, and yes, okay, bariatric surgery reroutes you. It's the Roan-Y. It reroutes you, and then you have a pouch, a small, and you have to protect this thing. Because if you overdo it, you can blow it up. You can really, 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 really be done. So you have to protect it. No matter how many years you're out, it does not matter. You have to be very protective. So that's part of it. But if you're not up here, you can totally mess yourself up. And I've heard a lot of stories. Taking a drink here. 1 second. You got something?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we had a handful of friends that actually had it done. And they said, physically, I was prepared for it.
Yes.
Mentally and emotionally, I wasn't. But the biggest thing that I regret is not doing it sooner.
Yes, that.
Because it gave me so many more freedoms
Mhm.
that I just didn't think were an option for me.
Yes, and I agree with that 100%. Honestly, I really do feel like I should have done it sooner because it not only after surgery, guys, I had buyer's remorse. Okay, because if you've ever had a surgery, guess what? Before you leave, you have to pass gas or go to the bathroom usually. How do you do that when you have a brand new stomach? That's frustrating. Okay. So there's that. Blue sugar free popsicle. Wouldn't give me that. That's just a joke, guys. I did want one, though. I understand why they don't give it away anymore, though, because it turns the lips blue and it scares the heck out of other nurses. So I get it. But there's that. So your stomach is completely rerouted. So you have to be able to go. You know, there's all of that. There's a lot of things with surgery, but here's another thing why I was feeling this buyer's remorse, okay? My old brain kicked in, and anytime that I was around other people that were eating, and it's not their fault, they got to eat, not their fault. My brain went, I can't eat any of this with the, okay, old brain, excuse brain, bully brain was like, I can't eat any of this food. This is not fair. Here I am being a little child, go sit in the corner, boo-hoo. Truth be told, though, it got easier. It was easier, and now it still is. I know now I don't drink and eat at the same time because if I do, not a pretty night. Not a pretty night for me, not a pretty night for Adam because Adam will have to be hitting my back because another newsflash, you're not able to get sick if you need to. I need help with that. Fun. 40 years old, yeah. So I watch what I do for that because I know I'll be in a world of hurt. And do I make mistakes? Yes. There's still foods that I have not tried 2 years out and have tried them and went, oh, that was a big mistake. My stomach does not digest that. I still have those issues. And you guys, you have to keep in mind that can happen. Setbacks either way, whether you do the weight loss surgery or you do it on your own or with the help of a nutritionist or the help with, what are they called? Trainer. Any of that stuff, you guys. You have to remember, it is work, but it's worth it. Once you get past your bully brain, that's what I'm calling it now, your bully brain. Once you get past your bully brain, the one that doesn't believe in you, is a big snooze, as what Jen Sincero would say, that suck fest that is trying to hold you back and keep you back from doing things. You have got to remember, it takes time. If you fall off, you get back up. You can have a pout fest about it because I can't. Oh well, guess what? You can. You still can have stuff smaller. Okay? Before surgery, before deciding that I was going to take care of myself, I would go to Taco Bell, which was not a good idea, but I would. And guess what? I would order the $5 box, and guess what? I'd eat the whole thing by myself in my car. Why? Because I learned that at an early age to hide and eat, to not let people know that I could eat a whole $5 box to myself. Okay, so yes, I always felt like there was never a shut off valve. I felt like I was always hungry, or even when I wasn't hungry, because my brain was like, we're in distress because we're overweight and people don't like us. I'm going to eat this whole box. Why? A whole thing of Oreos? Bye bye. Frosting? You betcha. Disgusting now to me. Like, to think of this stuff back, and I'm not being mean, because if you're in that situation right now, and it's easy for you to just open up a box of graham crackers and frost them with a whole can of frosting. I've been there. I've been there before. Or you get something, say you go to the bakery and you're like, oh, I don't know why, but I feel I need 5 donuts to myself and a gallon of chocolate milk. And then you start to have that regret as you're eating it and feeling sick that you toss in the garbage, and you go 2 hours later, because of course it wasn't good quality food, and you're hungry again, and you go grab that out. I've been there too. That's the truth. I've done that. And it makes you feel about this big, right? Been there. But all hope is not lost. A lot of us are gross in that way. We've all been there. I've got Tony over there shaking his head and saying, yep. We've been there, okay? Okay. We've been there. I've been there. And I'm being honest with you guys about it, because that is part of who I am. And you can look at me and be like, what a gross person. I don't do that now, especially not with all the whatever. But I used to, okay? I was there. I was at that point. I would buy things and I would eat what I felt like was good, and then I'd toss it, or I'd try to give it away to people, which does not help your friends. It's not nice. You're the bully, got the bully brain, and then you're bullying other people into eating stuff to make yourself feel normal. And it's okay, see? Other people are doing it too. Yay. But you can change it, and you don't necessarily have to do the surgery to do this. But here I am, 2 years later. Adam did all the math and everything on where I'm at from where I was, and the number on it doesn't matter. I thought that really did matter, but I'm maintaining, and I'm keeping healthy, and that's important. Okay, we can go up and down, up and down. I do watch that though, because I don't want to go up over a certain point, and that's what I've set for myself, because I refuse to go back. Another thing too, guys, just to point this out. When your friend or a family member is going through a surgery like this, if they're doing the weight loss surgery, support, even if you don't understand it. Try to be there for them, even if you don't understand it, or if it's not something that you would do. Also, if they're trying to start a regimen and they're trying very hard to keep on track and trying not to eat badly, support them the best you can. If you're going to eat a donut, eat it before you get there in front of them. Don't offer it to them. Don't offer one, because that's hard on somebody. If their brain is already food motivated and loves everything about sugar and grease, don't be a jerk like that. Don't be the bully. Support. I'm not saying that you can't eat in front of people, but support them on their journey the best you can. If your friend falls off the wagon, strong arm them and pick them back up and help them if they can't do it themselves. Support. Love each other. Help each other on the healthy journey. If you feel like you can't do it alone, try to get a group together. Facebook is amazing for being able to put together like a group of support, even if it's in Messenger, which a lot of people don't like because their phones go crazy. But you can also create a private page, a private little page to support each other. Maybe a friendly competition, maybe recipes, maybe exercise routines, a good playlist for people to get into exercising and doing these things. Maybe one of the online 5Ks, because they're not doing 5Ks right now. Whatever it is, support each other and believe in yourself. Cut off that bully brain when it tries to derail you. Okay? I know it's not easy. I've been there, guys. I've been there. And to this day, even where I sit right now, I will see people that are struggling with their weight. And I don't sit there and go, oh my gosh, look at that person. I go, I want to help them. How can I help them to let them know it is doable? And guys, after I walked out of the hospital from my surgery, remember how I told you I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, the problems with the PCOS like in full force? I left the hospital without having to take any of those medications. It was the best choice for me. I'm not saying it is the best choice for you, but if it is something that you're trying to consider, There are also groups on Facebook for bariatric surgery. They do tell all tales, just so you're warned. You do know everything, and you do get to know what it is that it feels like to have that kind of thing. There's all kinds of videos and people that support on YouTube, on the internet. Check it out. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research on everything that I've talked about today, because that's important. Not everything I say is gospel, my friends. Not everything I say. However, I'm trying to do the best I can to help support and help uplift and inspire you guys. So, with that being said, thank you for hanging out with me for this hour. It's been incredible. I'm thankful that we're able to relate and sit down on the floor together and just have that moment. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for the support, the love, and everything that you guys are doing to put the love and the light back out in this world. And remember, guys, with that being said, life is best lived.